So you made it to Ultra Ball tier. Now let's get you to Master Ball right now. Alright, so before we get into the tips, the first thing that I want to say is that if you haven't gone back and watched the Pokeball tier or the Great Ball tier or the Ultra Ball tier videos and you're not out of Pokeball or you haven't even made it to Ultra Ball yet, you should probably go back and watch those videos. But without further ado, let's get you to Master Ball. Okay, so the first point that I'm going to make here is that you should have some perspective about how many battles you're going to have going from the Ultra Ball, from the beginning of Ultra Ball to the Master Ball tier. So you have about four battles that you're going to have getting from the beginning of Ultra Ball to the Master Ball tier technically. So if you have trouble getting through the Ultra Ball tier, you're going to do a lot more battles than that. But if you are able to just do the four battles, you will automatically go from Ultra Ball tier to the Master Ball tier pretty easily. And then you can kind of focus on building your team a little bit more to get to the top tiers or the top rankings in the Master Ball tier itself. But just wanted you to have that perspective so that way you know, like, going into it, the Master Ball tier is only four battles away, and that makes it a lot easier for you as a person to just go and start doing battles and not feel nervous about it or not feel like you can't make it or can't do it, because you've done way more than four battles by this point and you've won probably a lot more than four battles by this point. So just focus on that when you're getting from the beginning of Ultra Ball tier to the Master Ball tier, that is only going to take me four battles. Realistically, technically, it's only going to take me those four battles, and that should make it easier for you to have the perspective and the mindset to just move forward and push yourself forward into the Master Ball tier. Alright, so the second point that I'm going to make today is kind of controversial and people might not like it, especially people that have played a lot of Pokemon. But what I'm going to say is that once you make it to Ultra Ball tier, you shouldn't be changing your team a lot. What you should be focused more on is actually trying to get better with the current team that you have and focusing on what you might want to change once you make it to Master Ball tier. You should try to focus on, like, your team preview, your leads, your common leads that we talked about in multiple videos at this point. Try to focus on, like, how well you're actually battling. Maybe write notes after each battle and focus on what you've done well and what you've not done well at while you're doing these battles, because this is, like, going to be very important for you once you make it to Master Ball tier, if you're trying to reach those top rankings, you know, trying to get to number one even. So just try and focus on that a little bit more while you're in the Ultra Ball tier. I don't think that changing your team around too much is very important at this point, because you've made it from the beginning of Great Ball tier to the Ultra Ball tier probably with this team that you're currently using in the Ultra Ball. And if you focus a little bit more on what makes it good by this point, you should be able to get through the Ultra Ball tier fairly easily. So before we get to the third and final tip, I'd like to go ahead and remind you, if this is helping you at all, please don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and like the video. It really helps us out with our goals in the future. And if you want to come and do some VGC content with us over on Twitch, please follow us over on Twitch at twitch.tv/ZemTenor, and you'll be able to come and do some battles with us sometimes and just enjoy some fun Pokemon VGC content. Thank you. Okay, so my third and final tip is that you should set a timer for about 30 minutes to an hour in between your matches, or not really in between your matches, but during your matches. And then in between these matches, think about what you're doing right and wrong, write it down, really reflect on what you're doing. And then in between each match, if you're going to be playing between these hour-long sessions or these 30-minute long sessions, give yourself about 5 to 10 minutes in between these sessions to really think about what you're doing right and wrong if you're trying to push through to the Master Ball tier. But setting these timers will really help you to remind yourself to take a break and to remind yourself that you need to actually sit back and think about what you're doing if you're not doing well during this process. That is going to be our 3 biggest Master Ball tips that I'm going to give you today. I hope this helps you get from the beginning of Ultra Ball to the Master Ball tier. Thank you all for coming in and watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.